You know who I really like in this church? Brother Hezekiah. He's sincere about what he does. And he has a good attitude about what's new. And that's what you have to do, is be a workable vessel. And those kind of things you do is what really counts. Not whether he knows the song. Most of the songs are older than him. But I constantly just keep my eye on him. Because the Bible says that some seeds fell on good ground. Some people are worth investing in. Because at the entry level, they're doing like they have the max. Giving all they can. Thank you, sir. This is the Myra. She just a songbird. And she's our next generation that has arrived to take over the mantle as we leave it here one day. And you have to be willing to give it up. So the Lord said you have to be willing to have up. Because one day you have to have up. And it's good to keep it going. Don't be so selfish and don't tell nobody what you're doing. Did you hear me? Don't be selfish. What I like about the ant, the Bible talks about consider the ant in all his ways. You know, ant only lives 6 months. If you stomp him, he quit, he dies. But if he has no harm, you realize the ant lives 6 months. And he knows how to go out and he brings back enough food for a year. Simply says that the ant is not selfish, saying, well, I'm not going to be here. But in the Psalms, I think Proverbs, they talked about the ant. He's always busy. And he's always thinking about something. And then another thing about the ant can carry 6 times his weight. So not only is the ant able to go out, scout, you drop the sugar on your counter. You see one, tomorrow you see 331. Not only that, he goes back and he gets somebody else. Say, I found some sugar. He ain't like us, we find it, we gonna go get our family, but you try to steal it. You try to get it, that's enough for you, and they say that. But I think I'm going to talk about the ant. Somebody find it in the Bible for me. I just want to encourage you all. Just find, consider the ant. Brother Cox, can you find it for me? You won't even listen. Consider the ant in all of his ways. It's somewhere in Proverbs. And I think that's appropriate for this morning because some of us need to know how to handle it. When I get up and go, it's gone. Am I right? Because you'll get up and go, can't leave you. You get tired of the mundane and the swiftness of time. So, did you find it, Brother Cornelius? Proverbs 6. Thank you, Lily. Because I think that's appropriate for this morning, only because there's so many things that have happened this week. And we need to know how to handle and keep on going. And I know enough about an ant that I can spend a long lecture. Because an ant is what the Lord used, or God used, to be able to explain that you shouldn't be lazy. And don't want you to be a sluggard. He talks about the ant as being one of the instruments that he uses. And what I wanted to point out is that if you could evaluate your life today, and I want everyone to just take residence of that, take it in Proverbs 6:1, 66. Oh, all right. I don't even feel bad. I can't see, so it's too bad. I used to get mad. No, I get mine. I get 9 pair of glasses. It says over in Proverbs chapter 6. Thank you, Ms. Lee. It said, "Go." Proverbs 6:6. It says, "The folly of the what?" No, it said verse 6. It said, go to the ant, you you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no captain, that means you can be self-managed yourself, overseas or ruler. Provides her supplies in the summer, watch this, and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard, when you rise from your sleep? A little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall your poverty, not poverty, but poverty, come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Just for the next little while, I want to talk about the church be like an ant. The church should be like an ant. Solomon was one of the writers, and among David and about 40 or 25 other individuals had wrote in these books called the poetry that's found in the Holy Writ. Simply means that sometimes they're cliche, sometimes they're taken from the old kings, the emperors, and other folks that learn how to philosophize, but yet try to make a metaphor to be able to excite people, to get them to hear what the Spirit had to say to the church. And just because it's found in Proverbs doesn't necessarily mean that you're exempt from doing what he asks you to do. He uses the ant because the ant has what I call a wherewithal and a worthiness to be considered one of those great insects that if you see 10 of them on your dashboard, you'll itch all day. Yeah. So the ant is very impactful with his presence, with her presence, influence. When you see an ant, and you talk about it, an ant, and you know when you see one, it's going to be 101. So that tells you one of the things we should learn is that they run in packs. And then they also, it said right here, they have no captain. Look up here. Which simply means that they're actually smart enough to know that when they see something that camp may need, watch me now, that they're not selfish and go get one morsel of bread, one grain of salt, one grain of sugar, chocolate cake, they like it. You know that. Rice, they're not really into that. But anything that have a sweetness on it, they know how to go out and get dessert and share it with those that's in the camp. That sweetness that they look for is the same thing that God is looking for in us. You walking with me? I ain't got no notes, I'm getting it from on high. That when the sweetness is in your spirit, then you will seek out sweetness outside of the body. Am I right? So that tells me that to be an ant, that you have to have, old folks say, something down on the inside. But I think I'll put it down so the cats can turn to kitties and the kids can turn to cats. When you think about the sweetness simply says that I've been born again. That I'm saved, and not only am I saved, but I'm sanctified. And when you think of sanctification, you think about it never happening, and also you think about how he has changed your life so sweet. Yeah, and because you ooey and gooey, that you syrup sounds good, right? Ice and cake, that you're so sweet that you can detect sweetness when you see it. And that's when fellowship gets together. Because the Bible said, how can they walk, preach with them? How can they walk together except they're agreed? So that sweetness, and you learn that ant said that I don't need no direction. That I have my antennas on. You know, they have antennas that they find out, they search out. And so that means I don't have to have someone to tell me what to do. You know, when you see one, you know you see 101 of them. And so what happens when you begin to look at the life of an ant, it only lives as long as 6 months. So if the ant is going to live here just 6 months, the ant has enough sense to stay in the camp with other ants just like him. You notice that he lives with his own. He fellowships with his own. He don't hang out with the roaches and the rats. But you're going to talk to him. He hangs out in the camp. And then the ant has enough sense to go deep into the earth. Y'all, I'm talking, they go down in the crust of the earth. And they go in and they hide and play places. Believe it, you can't even see an ant. The only one you really can see is a red ant. The red ant is just a little bit bigger than the black ant. But the red ant will sting you. But the black ant will fool you. Because he's not trying to harm nobody. And that's that spirit of that dove, that spirit of love, that sweetness you think about. You shouldn't be trying to harm nobody because you got sweet all in you. And the reason how you stay sweet is because you keep on looking for sweet. Y'all get that when you get home. Which means that I'm going to feed that. And they don't go up to the doctor. They keep on looking. They go into the camp. And what I like about the ant, because he don't have a captain, but the ant is self-governed, self-existing in his own ant world. When something goes wrong, the ant is able to carry 6 times his weight. Now, I don't know how many ounces he weighs. I know he doesn't weigh a pound, but he can carry a pound. Help me somebody. And the Bible says that when the ant goes out, or history says, when the ant goes out of the camp, that there's one ant. They have one ant. And the ant that go out there is the captain. And he said, now, when they sleeping, when you cut your lights off at night, right? You see one and he goes and you hit it with your finger. Well, rest assured that the ant has enough sense. They have one hit and they have one visual. So they sacrifice one, but then on the other side, when you turn your lights out, and when you go in there tiptoeing in the morning and you go in there to get coffee, the ant will meet you at the pot, say amen. That we left some sugar out in some of these old frame houses, right? Anybody here got a house that's 60 years old, you have a problem with ants. Because there's something about an ant. Ant knows that if they get in a wood frame, so the ant knows the weakness of people. You hear me? So because he's sugar hunting, somebody touch your neighbor and say he's sugar hunting. Yeah, because he's hunting for sheep. He doesn't want no salt. He doesn't want anything. He just said, if I can find some sugar, then I can take the sugar back to my homeboys and everybody will be sugared up. Do you hear me? He's not looking for negativity. He knows that you're bigger than him. He knows your foot can cover the whole ground where he lives. The ant knows that when he sees you come in, and he knows that there's a giant in the house. But the ant is not concerned about the bigness. The ant is concerned about his mission. So he keeps his eyes on what he's doing. He keeps his mind, thank you Lord, on what he's doing. He doesn't go to the left. Joshua said, don't go to the left, don't go to the right. But stay on the straight and narrow. Now, ant, I don't care if you're mad at him, he still keep on coming. I have never seen somebody here that's over 1 year old that want ants. Little kids, they try to catch it, but they can get it. And then so when ants have enough sense, you can water your yard. Did you know you can water your yard and you think you got the ant dead? No. Not the Bible, but the research said that an ant can roll himself inside of himself and stay alive. And that's something that Christians ought to have. That when the water and the wet, and then when situations get bad, you just have to go into yourself and see where God is, because he can keep you alive. Oh, I feel like preaching here, y'all. When things get bad, he said, consider the ant. He said he's not lazy, he's not sluggish. I mean, he's there at night when you see, look at him sleep. So when you go ahead and you get when you get out there, that you find out that he's not lazy, surely, that he knows every pound cake there is. He knows every, and you know, you work hard to keep stuff for ants. Ants are so small. Ants are so small that when you look at them, you say, well, this ant, that little bitty ant can cause a lot of disturbance in your life. You get ready and you spray it, then you suck it in. And they don't eat it, they don't even get it when they see it come, roll up in themselves. They roll up in the ball you have in front of your house. The ants are sitting out there. And they say, oh yeah, I'm gonna give me some water. They get sugar and they get water. But when the water comes, they can swim on the water, then they go under the water, and then they roll up in the water, and roll up in themselves, and then somehow there's a breathing mechanism on the inside. You hear me? There's a breathing ant. So that means that when you have to go into isolation, separate yourself, come out among them, be ye separate, be ye holy, without when you have to go inside of yourself. And that's the place we got to spend time. I mean, we got to learn how to go inside of ourselves. We learn how to go inside of ourselves and say, you know what, do I have, good God, do I have enough to survive in stormy days? Do I have enough Jesus in me that I can survive? Or do I have to run to the camp? They don't go back and get no more ants. They don't go back. They weigh it out and they say they can breathe in themselves for almost a day and a half. That's a long time. So when the storms of life are raging, that the ant can go into himself, feed himself, breathe himself, and then he can wait you out. ants don't. They get in your car, they get in your purse, they get all of your clothes, and they're very influential. He said, consider the ant in all of his ways. Consider what he does. He's saying it's using you. So here he's using a metaphor. He's telling us the Angie that ants are coming. Be like them. Don't go away. Church folk, we learn not to go away. When the water come out on the grass, ants know how to ride it out. Ants know how to go inside themselves. So here, when you're a Christian, when you go inside, what are you going to find? Ooh. What you going to find when you go inside? Will it be empty? Because an ant has enough sense to know that I need to learn what I'm supposed to be doing as an ant before I take that. Before I go in the field, I need to find out what does it take. I don't know if they have ant farm. I don't know if they have an ant school. I don't even know if the microphone works. He gave me one that did work. But you got to make sure that you would learn how to endure and learn how to survive. Everybody says survive. Now, what it didn't say, consider the slugger. Now, a slugger is a lazy one. That means that the ant that looked at all human beings and did a psychosocial assessment on them. The ant is small as it is, as minute it is, he looked up and said, oh, he knows the one that's going to put the fire out. He knows the one that's going to buy some rain. He knows the one, he said, I'm not worried about the rain because the rain can't do me no harm. Because when they try to kill me, all I'm going to do is go into myself. I'm going to go lean on what I know. I'm going to take the training that I got in camp. Are you walking with me? So the ant here is something that he uses, the psalmist came in his proverb to bring it up and said, consider his ways and be wise. It's wise to know in advance. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. What we do when we're wise, we clean our counter off with bleach. Am I right? When we're wise, we get those Clorox strips and we wipe off the counter. But when you're unwise, you think, I'll put it up in the morning. My mother will wake you up at midnight with a belt. She told you to wash the dishes because our house is Inglewood and we had a wood frame in a brick house. But when our house when the house was, we knew we had an ant problem. So I'm like, yo mama. She said, you gonna lay down? She tell you, like Jackie's mama told her ex-husband, lay down the way you want Coney Johnson to pick you up. So you turn around and you go in and we would have cakes. They love to cook. Old folk love to cook. Back then, y'all don't cook no more. I come take the kitchen out and make it again. They love to cook. And then, but the children always had to wash the dishes. Particularly me. So we would, what we call wash the dishes. They had pots, pans, roasters, rice, roasters, and all that, cake pies, and all that. And my mother would say, I bought it, I cooked it, you cleaned it. All right. Well, it's my turn. I was a real good kid. So I take the pot and the pan and put it in the cabinet. And she said, Mr. Graham, yes ma'am, did you wash that roaster? I mean, I would go in like a comatose and stand it up. She said, did you wash that pan? Mr. Graham, so I knew, she said Mr. that means she had it already. Mr. was the key word in this subject. And I said, well, I just stuttered. I didn't learn how to talk till I was 6. Seriously, I didn't talk till I was 6. Because I was so traumatized with this woman, I couldn't speak. That's why I stuttered now. That's why I talk fast now, because I had to hear him get it out when the bell came. And that's the truth. So I was, so that's why I talk all the time now. Y'all don't know. Shut up. We just talking. So we discovered, she said, I want you to go in there and show me where the pots were. Well, it was easy to find. You know why? Because they had about 3,000 ants that told on me. So the thing of, we didn't see the ant. We was cooking. Everybody was fine. Making them pound cakes and put them under the bed. Remember those? Make them 3 days early. Miss Georgia made them put them under the bed. That means she didn't have no rats and roaches, but she had ants. But the ant only came after dinner. It never came during dinner. We were so engrossed in eating, we didn't see him. We might have ate him, we don't even know it. Your big mama cook all the time. Because David, Cornelius cook all the time. 15 cakes, 15 this and 45. Like your mother would cook it all, them get together. So, what I discovered was, the ant will seek after and keep his eyes on the prize.
All right.
How many Christians you know that can keep their eyes on the prize? How many you know? How many you know that when situations take place? I don't know, name what you put in there in difficult times. But the ant's not even hungry when it's looking. The history said the ant's not even hungry. He's just helpful. That's what the thing is about. He's a helpful creature. So I would ask the question, how many ants do we have in the house? Boom! How many ants do we have in the house? Now the Bible calls it, you can work without a captain. That means you don't have to call the pastor and say, Pastor, you want me to clean the floor? And he got sugar on the floor? Ant just start, he said, don't clean it up. Go get it. Come on. But if the ant get injured, look at me. He has enough confidence and no ability, knowledge, to whistle and get some help. One's always going back. You ever swim and it disappeared? They're going to tell their mama that one of your children be a woman. And then she said, go back and get him. But all y'all don't come. This is history on hand. So the one that saw him, like it was in Noah's day, the one that saw him fall when he was drunk, it's your responsibility to pick him up.
All right, all right.
It's your job. What happened to Noah? Noah got drunk. I was raised, but I was drunk that day. He spent all that time in the boat with them stinking animals. If he was in the ship, the boat, you was in the grace of God. But if he was outside, you was in the wrath of God. It rained. He sent out the birds, and one didn't come back. Sent out another one. Sent it out, they came back, finally came back. And then it took 6 more months for it to settle. I think it was Iraq is where the boat shake and hit the bottom. And he came out. He'd be locked in with all the stinking things. And not only was there a whole lot of animals in there, he had an ant farm in there. Because everything has a purpose under the sun. So they opened the door and let him out. He went over and he got drunk. Because he'd been locked up almost 6 months in an tolerable place. So he gets out. Gets drunk. I forget what son saw him in his nakedness. So instead of covering him up, he went and got the other brother. Matter of fact, that was Ham that they found. And he said Ham was the black folks. That's what they said. When he got the other brother, and the other brother had enough sense to, he said, well, we're going to walk backwards and we're going to cover him up. We're not going to look at him because he's still our father. And whatever mistake he made, we ain't going to tell nobody. And then, let's go back and get some help. But he come by himself when he come. Because the one that found him, that's who the responsibility lies on. Dad. You know what he did? He goes and picks up the injured ant. I know you say that's missionary work. No, that's ant work. That's Christian work. That when there is a breakdown, y'all should get together and lift up. And if you're a critical person like most people are, when your brother falls, the Bible says restore him. Unless you also fall. Because you might say today, well, I don't have that problem. Well, you got some problem. So the ant is showing us so many things to consider. Don't be lazy, right? Operate on the wisdom and all that you have. And it said also, be wise. They're two kind of wise. You know already. The wisdom that comes from God and the wisdom that comes from man. All y'all matriculated, you went to school. If you didn't graduate, you told me you did. You know how to read and write. So you think you're wise. I can deduct. I can figure this out. And so you use your wisdom, man-made wisdom. That's the problem with man. There's a way that seemeth right. Have you ever just made a mistake that you can get? Remember, I grew up with you. When Angie used to beat you, I remember that. You used to holler, Mama, stop, Mama, stop. And ooh, Mama. She used to, ooh, Angie. I said, you're going to jail. I said, this girl's so fast. She didn't bother the mother boys that much. But Dominique was surprised. She saw stuff. She said, she just won't stop. I say, all right, don't do it no more. Man, Angie would be mad. So the wisdom you operate in. Now we came up with CPS.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Children Protection Service. Stop some of us that operate a little bit over the edge. Thank you, Jesus, somebody should be saying.
Yeah, thank you.
It ain't happened in the 60s. I know my mother, I'm a victim of you just kept whooping until you get tired.
Wow.
And then she said, and if I remember, I'm going to whoop you again. I said, I wish she had Alzheimer's and died. Have a brain aneurysm or something. So you can't rise above what you don't know, is what I'm saying. The wisdom you don't know. Now, that's why grandparents make better parents than they were parents. You know why? Because now I know better. I wish they had been like that in the 60s. Because all of us had post-traumatic stress disorder. We traumatized. But here we are operating in wisdom. Wisdom means that when you get wisdom, you operate with the wisdom from God. And one thing about I learned when you use the wisdom of God, it don't go wrong. He doesn't. He tell you to get up early. You go do something. Like Paul, you got a garage full of stuff. Sometimes you get orders. Sometimes you show up. Sometimes you show up. Sometimes you slip up. I'll never tell. Because it's already in her. Because she's an ant. And by her having that understanding that she comes to other people to rescue, and sometimes use the wisdom of God. Sometimes use the wisdom of Paul. So you got to know which one you're pulling from. All right. Is that of God or is that of my own? I'm preaching right there. Because some people think that they know it all. I ain't asked nobody. I ain't trying to miss nobody either. So that's why you pray and ask Solomon. If I had time, I talked to Solomon. He said, if you pray and ask God for wisdom. And you know what's so funny? All the other kings prayed to be mighty. They wanted armors. They wanted arsenal. They wanted a whole lot of property. They wanted cover. They wanted to beat the enemy. All Solomon prayed for was wisdom. And when he prayed for wisdom, everything else he wanted was connected to wisdom.
All right. That's good.
The richest king that ever man had ever lived. Just for asking God that I want to do it right. And a lot of people need to do that. I want to do it right. I don't care if they like Reverend or not. I don't care if you like your neighbor or not. Just do the right thing. That's where it comes from. I want to do right. Some of us have battles in here with other people, family members, people. But if you have wisdom, be wise and begin to learn how to, not particularly try to win that person, but calm your raging sea down.
Yeah, that part.
Calm, that was it. Use anger. Calm it down. Because when you use the wisdom of God, then he'll give you everything you need. Now, see, know better now. So now you have to do better. Be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Hold on. Did I say that? Be wise as a snake.
All right.
Because the snake knows how to play dead and he knows how to blend in. Places you stuff, people get bit. Many people have get bit because the snake, like a chameleon. It blends with nature, and you walk up and you'll have a snake in your hand. And the snake has one attack, is to kill. Some have poisons, some don't. But they're all still snakes. So be wise. And I'm closing. But don't be lazy. See something needs to be done in your church, just do it. Quit going home early and doing nothing. Taking off those uncomfortable unders. My mother had a moo-moo she used to wear, Karen. She had a moo-moo. And about 40 of them. You know, everything she did, she did a whole lot. Kmart, she bought different colors. We had company, she put on a nice moo-moo. When they leave, she put that ragged one back on. And when they had a hole in the back, and under the arms, y'all know about that. Your mama was go home. Sometimes she put it over a slip between church. Fry some chicken. It smelled like chicken and perfume for 3:30 service. You didn't take it all out to the restaurant. I didn't want to a restaurant till I was 18 years old. I had never been to a restaurant. Because she had 2 refrigerators and a deep freeze.
Yes, yes.
You remember that lady when you go out there, mama said go out there and look at the deep freezer. That meant like, oh my God. She put it in hot water then. They didn't know cold water would do it better. Put it in there, flip it upside down. Take that out. She said, go take that chicken and see if it's ready. That meant go look in the sink. She went down there, put those 3 in there. She put in there 35 pieces.
Yeah, yeah.
With 4 kids and 1 husband, halfway divorced. He didn't come home, and she never earned. But we had so much in there. And I said, what's that for? I was going to start talking. I was 6. She said, that's for later. The ant knows how, is wise enough to know that if I don't get killed in the battle tonight, because I'm going over to Lisa's house on Crenshaw, 9534, Crenshaw, 9355. I'm going to Crenshaw. I'm Uber over to her house. I'm gonna ride on one of them twins when they get out of there. I'm going to the house. Because I always wonder how they get in the house. He just rides in on somebody. Like the bed bugs do. They ride in with somebody. They don't just grow out and they come in, they ride. So if you don't want to be a victim of an ant, you better make sure that you brush yourself off.
All right.
And then closing, he brings more than he'll ever eat.
All right.
He'll carry more than he weighs.
Yeah.
So if you had to put this in your mind, don't be one of those that work at just the minimum. One of the awful things about that is when you operate on the minimum, haven't you seen it when people just, you say, go wash the dishes? That's a Rachel Grimm. She said, you didn't tell me to put them away. I said, shut my mouth so I can put you out. Some people operate in the minimum. Some people operate in the minimum. But maximize the moment. And we all got one sibling that don't do nothing.
Amen.
Oh, why am I looking at you now? We all got one sibling that don't. I can't even look at nobody in there. Because we just give the minimum and don't maximize the moment. Because the Lord was good for that. She said she takes care of the table. I said, so go on. I have to put it in. Why is it taking so long to eat? Say, you want hot food, don't you? Amazing, she had a church clothes on. I said, how you gonna get that pot? She said, I'm gonna give me a stew. Only one I know if that on top of the stew, and the pot bigger than her, and she stirred it. No sweat, no hair didn't move, and you know why, the hair didn't move. I didn't say that, did I? One time somebody made me some rice, and she said, Reverend Graham, dinner's late. I said, why? You know, when I get hungry, I get crazy. And she said, somebody brought some rice and looked like, I can say it now, oatmeal. I can tell it all now. She said, and don't say nothing. She didn't say I couldn't say it now. And she said, so I know you ain't gonna eat that. You know, I said, you look like that. So I held up this and I got you some real rice. And I threw the gravy in the trash too. I need some more of that. So because she operated in what she knew was the best and not the minimum. After showing that I feel good. My class reunion saying that when that little lady had made that, they said we should have charged them. So when you put everything in, pick it what you got. Stop minimizing yourself when it comes to the gift that God gave you. Exercise. Exercise. Things you can sing.
Amen.
They call choir rehearsal. It's not an option. When Douglas called, he wanted everybody in the choir. Arrange your schedule so you can maximize what God gave you for free. A ranger scared to die to come to church. Andy been coming for years. In the hospital, out of hospital. That ranger people born and raised in church. They lived in the back of my car. One time we had to go to church, I had an RH7 2-seater. We had 13 people in my car. 13. We did it, didn't you? Remember that? 13 people in the car at the same time. So I was determined I was going to let my 2-seater. It should have been a 13-seat passenger van. We got in there. All of us sitting there. My kids, little kids, she had 6. We're 4 at the time. A lot of them. But you maximize, because the ant tells us that you just don't minimize. You go all the way. Consider him in all his ways. Yes. Y'all tonight go home, I know some of you scholars are going to look up there. See what he does. Compare it with your life. And you'll determine whether you're a sluggard. And then in the summertime, you know how to. The last thought. I just had a thought. What is summertime? Hot time. If you drop some sugar in the summertime, boy, she said, her daddy's house got built in the 20s. Maybe earlier. Don't put no sugar down on 103rd. But in the summertime, the ant knows how to work at the hottest time. You hear me, sure? One of the worst things you could ever have out of a Christian is that when they get rough, they go to running. Christians say, do. When you go to running? If he's equipped us for every challenge there is.
Thank you.
Look at me one. He's already given us the recipe, the fortitude. We just don't have the right attitude. We don't know how to do that. We don't go to the grind. We don't go there and press. We say the word, we just don't do it. I'm pressing. No, you're not. You're lazy. And then when people go and do a lot, then you say they're taking over.
Oh,
But the ant knows how to work, and when it's hot, I know the reason why I'm working properly. You got the wrong clothing on. If you plan on cooking, my mother would put a moo-moo on. And we didn't have no fan in the kitchen. We had the old key and married stove. Remember that? Boy, you think at Lisa, born back. Lisa older than me, so she might remember more than me. Oh, lies, people tell you. Old key and married would cut on. Had a big old thing of grease in the middle where they saved it for chicken grease. Remember that? We didn't know he was killing us, but it sure was good. My mother said the second batch would taste better than the first batch because all of the crust and all the sauces and all of the pepper and all that would fall off as long as you didn't burn it. She poured it in that big old can, a shortly, kind of harden your arteries, give you hypertension, but you still felt good. It's killing me, but it feels good. Killing me soft, it would is soft. Just thank you, Lord. Oh, I'm dying daily. I'm going to the cross. Eat that chicken. She take that chicken and put it in there, and she told me the second time you use it, it browns better than it did the first time. And use grease. One grease you couldn't keep is hamburger grease. No, you can use fish again.
yes, Lord.
You just can't use no hamburger meat, excuse me, ground beef. I went to a restaurant, they asked the man for a hamburger. He said, sorry, sir, we don't have ham. I said, I don't want no ham either. He said, what do you want? I said, I want a hamburger over there in Hollywood. Can I have a hamburger, please? He said, we don't have a hamburger, but we got beef burgers. I said, where you come from? That is a hamburger. I went to one place, they asked me, can I have a cheese toast? Y'all know what cheese toast is? Yeah. It's called grilled cheese, the official word. The man told me. I asked him for toast cheese. He said, what? We don't have those. I said, well, what's that right there? He said, I said, oh. So here it is. Consider it. Don't be a sluggard. Be wise. Don't wait until somebody says don't have a ruler. Or here, look at this. It says don't have an overseer. Why do we always got to have somebody tell us what to do? That part. Why? Wisdom will tell you if you see water on the floor in the girl's bathroom, wipe it up.
Amen.
Wisdom will tell you if you see your brother overtaking the fault, restore him. Wisdom. And if you see your brother lacking and he's hungry, don't say to him, be full. That's what the Bible says. But give him and do what you can do to help him. And if he's wounded, pick him up. If he's hungry, feed him. And if he needs some love, Paul said love him. And Jesus said, if you're angry at him, forgive him.
Yes, sir.
And if he lost, leave all the sheep and go look for that one lost sheep.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
And if he's not able to care for himself, it tells you that we bear the infirmities of a sick brother.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. So that's what the job of a Christian is. So next time you want to read what you got to do in Christ. Say, I'm going to be wise as a minutiae. No small ant. The ant has so much influence that he'll make it scratch when you don't see it. And first thing you say is, why am I scratching? Because I've been exposed to this little bitty insect that takes care of your 245 pounds. 170, 200, 300, whatever I call them. And getting any influences. And he don't sleep. He don't sleep on the job. When he sees sugar, he goes toward it. When he sees barbecue sauce on the floor, that's why you got to mop the kitchen. As soon as you get through, y'all didn't know there's something like that too, huh? Wipe the stove off, the refrigerator, the ice box, whatever y'all call it, the counters, and put the dishes away. I hate when folks wash dishes, they don't even put the stuff in the cabinet. It don't look clean. Put it away. Get ready for the next meal. And that's what the ants do. They get ready for the next picnic. And bet about God, it don't matter whether he's invited or not, the ant can go come. Am I right, Father? You can go to the other park and put your bread down if you want to. The ant always has a mission. And he don't change his mind. And that's how it is at being born again. You gotta make sure that you keep your mission in your mind. That I go to the house of God to bless somebody else. I go to the house of God to lift somebody else. And I go to tell somebody that you come on back to the camp with me. As long as you identify as being an good evening, I'm good shepherd. Lest I keep it too long that an ant knows something that's edible and don't mind coming. Stop waiting for people to ask you to work. If you see a hole in the choir and you sing tenor, go up and sing with them. If you see somebody in the kitchen and they're cooking, don't be so selfish and say, Piggy, I wish they would ask me. But if you're a real man, and if you've been born again, Terry, you don't have to wait for somebody to call you. Just tell Larry, I need to go down there to the church and I saw that there's a need. But people sit around and want somebody to ask you this, that, and the other. Well, that ain't a born again believer. That's a lazy slug. Because he got a heart with sugar. Because if that clique is not a sugar clique, it might be a salt clique. I get scared when I see other people that separate themselves from the whole multitude of Christians. I get leery of people that only eat their own food and don't eat nobody else's. That's a clique. I get a little scared when people don't do certain things for one group but do it for the other. But the ant has wisdom. She knows that whether you welcome me in or not, I'm going to the party. Whether it's in nighttime or in the daytime, that the ant has enough sense to say, I'm going to slip on in the darkness and I'm going to get all I can or what I can, because it might not be another party till next week. And when the ant goes back to the camp house, the Bible said he has enough stuff laid up for another season. Don't worry about it. Just hold on and carry more than you can carry, but then don't forget about those that are behind you. We got to learn how to share and give some love.
Yes,
But
Lord.
we have to consider our ways.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You have to consider your ways.
Yes.
Take inventory. How long will you slumber? When you rise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber,
Yeah.
a little folding of hands. People that fold their hands ain't gonna do nothing. Well, people that sit on lazy boys ain't gonna do nothing. But when you